Let's talk about doing the carnivore diet on a budget. Hey, what's shaking bacon? My name's Bruno Panucci. I hope you're doing well. So I've been doing a carnivore diet for well over 2.5 years consistently, for a few years inconsistently before that. And one of the things that can contribute to doing a carnivore diet inconsistently, of course, is a budget. So some people are worried that it costs more to do a carnivore diet. Well, actually, it's a much cheaper way of eating. I'm a big guy, and even if I have 3 pounds of meat a day, that's only, $12, $15 a day. That's not much for a day of complete nutrient-dense food. I can even do it cheaper than that, but I have a big appetite. Most of the people out there are going to be good between 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of food. So keep that in mind when you're buying food for $4 a pound. So anyone that's feeding a house full of people is really going to appreciate the fact that they're going to save a lot of money doing these few simple tips. Now, first and foremost, if you need variety in your carnivore diet and you're one of those people that just doesn't like to have the same meal over and over again, this is going to be a bit more of a challenge for you doing a carnivore diet because you're limiting yourself just to meat. So there's still an easy way to keep variety in your diet. But what I do, and what lots of carnivores eventually do, is rely on red meat as your main staple. Because it's such a nutrient-dense food, it's easy to just make that your staple and feel good. And eventually, the longer you do this, the more in tune you're going to get with your digestive system and what your body's telling you. And one of the things your body's going to start leaning towards naturally is red meat. And you want fattier red meat typically. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, maybe having leaner meats, but red meats is a better way to go. Typically, ground beef is my staple food because I can make burger patties. I can just fry up a bunch of ground beef and put it in the fridge. I can do whatever I want. The beauty of burger patties when I make them myself is it's so much easier to just transport. I can put it in a little Ziploc bag or a glass container and I could take it to work. I could take it anywhere I need throughout the day and I have easy snack food. And if you're interested in portion sizing, it's easy to portion size out all your meals. It's not only a really easy way to do it, when you get your ground beef on sale and you stock up a little bit, you can save a lot of money. You can get it on sale typically from a regular grocery store cheaper than you can if you're buying your ground beef in bulk when you buy a half cow, which we'll get into later. So you wait for a good sale, you keep your eye out, and especially if you're feeding a house full of people. So it's a matter of looking at what's on sale each week and keeping room in your freezer. So you might want to have more than one freezer in the house. That really goes a long way if you have like a chest freezer or an upright freezer on top of your regular freezer that you use day to day for your ice cubes and all the things that's just above your fridge. Buying your ground beef on sale, I think, is a great staple because the nice thing about getting ground beef is you can fry it up in a pan, so you can just have it loose leaf that way, or you can turn it into burger patties and you can cook in bulk. So the beautiful thing about that is life gets really simple because this is your go-to staple food. You always have food in the fridge where you can go in, grab a little bite, take it out, and you can have something to get you by if you get hungry, or you're going to have a busy afternoon. You're not going to know if you can stop and get lunch, so you can have that food accessible. So not only is ground beef a really affordable way to eat, especially if you're getting it on sale, but it's also an easy access food for when you have to leave and when you're just around the home. It's food that everyone can just snack on throughout the day. And that leads us into our second topic, buying in bulk. So when you see a great price on any type of steak or ground beef, buy a bunch of it. Put money aside each month to buy it. So everything you're eating, eventually that's being stored in your freezer, is going to be sale items. Sometimes you can get sale items at such a great price, you want to stock up because even though ground beef is a great day-to-day say breakfast and lunch throughout the day, and you can even have it, of course, for dinner in different forms. But it's nice to treat yourself to a steak every now and then. And that can get more expensive because now you're paying, $10, $15, $25 for a steak. So if you're getting it on sale and you're buying it in bulk, it's a better way to go because you can just keep it in the freezer, and the whole time you can eventually have an extra freezer in your house full of meat that you got on sale for anywhere between, say, 25 to 50% off. If you know your prices. And that leads us into our next topic. The third one is know your prices. You don't know just because something is 20% off if you're still paying a lot, because when you look in a flyer and you look and it says, there's 20% off steak. Is it 20% off a horribly inflated price? Because if it is, you're not really saving much money, are you? You want to try and get a place that sells meat at a realistic price. And then when they put a sale on for 20% off or 40% off, you know to jump on that. And sometimes places have lots of 20% off sales, as an example. And then other times, maybe less frequently, they might have a 30 or 40% off. And those are the ones you want to kind of save up for. So you want to try and have the best prices for the best cuts of whatever your choice food is so that you can always have sales and knowing your prices. Because if you don't know your prices for different cuts of meat, It's hard to tell. You can look at one steak and say, oh, that's great. They have it on for $15.99. What a great sale. Typically, regular price for a T-bone around here is between $18 to $20 a pound. So it's not really a great price for a T-bone. It's okay. But you also want to know your cuts between, if there's lots of marbling or if there's not much marbling, because you pay for the marbling in North America. So just because something's on sale and it looks like it's a good price, it doesn't mean it's a good quality cut of meat. So you can get T-bones in a variety of different ranges. So in Canada, we have single A, double A, and triple A. Triple A has the most marbling. That's what you're paying for. That's the highest quality meat to get. So if you see a sale on for T-bones and it's $10.99, but it's single A, you're maybe getting a fat cap on that, but most places seem to be cutting off fat caps right now. So when you're getting your meat, you want to make sure that you don't only know the sale price and what's good and what's bad, but the different grades of meat and the different qualities of meat, so that you're not getting something that you're not paying for. Because often when they advertise in Canada, triple A, what they do is they put a bunch of this triple A steak in a big freezer, and then you go through it and you look for the cuts you want. But there's a lot of double A quality meats in there where there's practically no marbling in the meat. So it's mixed in there, and people who don't know what they want to buy are paying a regular price for double A steak, and they think they're getting triple A steak at a great price on sale. So you want to keep in mind the grocery stores aren't always honest. So another great thing lots of grocery stores do is in the mornings before the day starts, they put the meat that's starting to get a little bit old, it's getting close to the expiry date, they put that on sale. And if you buy that meat every morning, not only will you have great food for the end of the day, unless you're sensitive to histamines, then you may not want that cut of meat. But if you don't mind and it doesn't seem to bother you, then it's well before its expiration date. And sometimes meat, you get a little bit of extra time as far as an expiration date goes, because just because it says it's only good till, say, the 27th, doesn't mean it's not going to be good till the 31st. So you can cook that meat and it's going to be okay. There's a difference between a best before date and an expiration date. So don't forget, most of these places, when it comes to red meat, it's a best before date. So it's nice when you can go to a grocery store, because you might be able to find a regular steak that's on sale and it's on a sale on top of a sale, because it's just old inventory and they don't want to get it sold before it gets old. So you can buy something and have it for dinner that night. Our next thing is buying in bulk, and not just buying in bulk sale items, but getting your meat in bulk. So this is interesting. When I buy my meat in bulk, I pay roughly $5 a pound. I get it from a grass-fed, antibiotic-free, hormone-free, smaller butcher shop that's a little grocery store, but it only sells meat. And their food is a better quality food. When you get your meat in bulk that way from a local place, a local farm, typically you'll notice a stronger flavor in the meat, and it's really nice if you like that stronger flavor. So it's nice for variety that way, because even though you're having ground beef, typically when you get a half cow, you might get between 90 and 110 pounds of ground beef, depending on the size of the cow. And you usually get the same in your cuts between your roasts and your steaks, and you get them cut however you want. Now, when I get my cow, I get mine frozen in vacuum sealed plastic bags. So it's really nice. So if I want to sous vide those steaks, or roasts even, I can sous vide them and they come out great every single time. If you get it wrapped in butcher paper, it doesn't last quite as long in the freezer, but when it's vacuum sealed, usually you can get at least a year. I've often had meat sit for 2 years without a problem. Comes to buying a freezer, believe it or not, it may sound more inconvenient. I'm going to make a video about this in the near future. You want to get a chest freezer, not an upright freezer. I know it's a bit more of a pain in the butt, but boy, is it well worth the money. I hope you enjoyed this video. Those are a few ways we could save money doing a carnivore diet, and I'll make another video because there's lots of other ways you can save money on the carnivore diet. So thanks a lot for watching this video. If you can, give it a thumbs up and subscribe.